Today, money is not very important as it used to be in the past century. It appears that every country has enough money. What we really lack today is knowledge and technology. When we say lack, it means that what has been already invented and discovered in one part of the world should be shared across the globe. Climate change, as we all realize, is here to stay. Climate change is a permanent change to the evolved weather patterns over centuries and millennia. We have seen changes in temperature, we have seen changes in rainfall, humidity. But those occurrences which were uncertain, which were unpredictable, now are getting more predictable in the sense that the climate change itself has undergone a change. The implication of a climate change is that it is going to adversely impact the agriculture system of all these countries. And for these nations in South-South, agriculture is the mainstay of the economy. It provides livelihood to millions of people. It is also impacting the general civilization, the culture of these nations. And if agriculture over the millennia has got evolved into certain season-bound practices, and that seasonality itself is changing, then the response also has to change. In the response that we need now to make, the science and technology are extremely important. The science and technology will spawn out new knowledge, and the knowledge that has been developed in India, that has been developed in Kenya and other African nations, can be integrated for mutual benefit. Agriculture is not just meant for food security, because millions of farmers depend upon agriculture for their livelihood. We have to ensure that they also get enough incomes. So therefore, the new agriculture system in the new climate change environment has got the double responses to make. One is to have a resilient agriculture, and second is to make it an enterprise in the sense that they generate profit from the agriculture.
As a ministry, we have created the Kenya Climate Smart Strategy and the methodology to be able to reach the farmers. The aim here is when you look at the big four agenda that we are pushing in the ministry, it is basically we have a whole agenda of food, nutrition, and food security, and we are looking at a complete value chain. As my colleagues have, we are putting a complete value chain right from production up to the end. So the issue of climate change is real. The issue of us adopting is real. We are looking at changing our farming conditions, changing our farming practices, using science and technology to be able to create resilience in our farmers. So basically, it's a continuous thing, and we have been doing it. It's only that now we want to look at the complete value chain as a ministry. We want to look at the various technologies that are applicable and also borrow from our colleagues that are around. We realize that a country like India has been able to do a lot in predicting production for their farmers, being able to adapt to these climate situations. So as a country, we want to learn from these countries that have been able to implement, being able to move forward.
We all know that Africa and India are all struggling with climate change. We know in the global context, these are the two most affected areas in the world at the global scale. And we know that in both of these, Africa and India, the challenge is more in the agriculture sector because of the low resource capacity in terms of human capacity, natural capacity, and also physical capacity. Therefore, these two areas are very vulnerable to climate change. And unfortunately, a big number of people in these countries also depend on agriculture. In India, about 52% of Indians depend on agriculture, while in Africa, about 72% of Africans depend on agriculture. So where agriculture goes is where the countries typically go in terms of development. But like I said, climate change is impacting negatively on agriculture. We have predictions, for example, that if conditions prevail, if they continue as they are, about 10% of the arable land in Africa will go out of production. We know that, for example, we shall register yield losses of about 5% in India. And this is happening in places where we are seeing population explosions. The future is such that actually most of the population is going to grow in Africa and India. By 2030, India will be about 1.7 billion people. Africa will be about 2.34 billion people. So the number of people that we need to feed is increasing, while the resources upon which we depend for production of our food actually are diminishing and being negatively impacted by climate change.